Hi, everybody. Chris Justice here live alongside Griffin Hardy. We're keeping an eye on the winter storm that's starting to take shape across the mountains. I've got our Champion Hills Skycam across Hendersonville. It's snowing across the mountains. As expected, this activity right now is on the lighter side. As we go deeper into the afternoon and evening, this activity is going to get more widespread and unfortunately more dangerous. Here is our winter storm back toward the west. We're going to continue to provide you updates on the hour, including a special broadcast here at 4 o'clock right before the NFL game here that you'll see here on WYFF 4. We'll be ironing this out, and ice and snow a sure bet across the area tonight, and we're already starting to see that happen across the area. A closer look at live Super Doppler 4HD. It'll track severe weather for us, but it also tracks wintry weather. Already seeing that snow across Hendersonville, Buncombe County, up through parts of Jackson and Haywood County. Mainly dry across the upstate, but would not be surprised to see a few light rain showers, some drizzle, or even some sleet pellets or flurries reach into the ground. Here's the way things are going to unfold over the next couple of hours. The bulk of the moisture holds off until 9, 10, 11 o'clock, and that's when snow begins to break out across the area, pretty widespread by 3 a.m. By the time we get to the 7 a.m. time frame, it's not just snow across the area. Now freezing rain and sleet is taking over. This is when ice becomes a big concern. So you're not snow anymore. You've had a couple of hours of it in Greenville and Spartanburg northbound, but now you're getting in on ice, and that ice is going to be a big problem, folks. We're talking about significant totals here across the area, combined with wind speeds that I see getting up close to 50 miles per hour. I've got brand new ice and snow totals that I'll show you here coming up in just a few minutes. We're also expecting to hear from the governor, South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster, expected to speak here at the bottom of the hour. We'll keep you posted throughout the rest of the day, and join us for a special Facebook Live coming up here in just a few moments on our WYFF 4 page. Stay safe, everybody, and stay warm. Hi, everybody. Chris Justice live here in the studios. We'll get you right back to the game. You're not missing a second of it. I want to give you an update on the winter storm heading our way. It's setting up back toward the west. We are cold enough here at home that when this thing starts, it's going to crank out snow and sleet and then eventually ice for the entire area here. We're concerned about the ice big time across the upstate. Those totals are going up, and then for the mountains, this is going to be mainly a snow event. It's already snowing in some locations, just not cold enough quite yet to allow for accumulations to start causing problems. That happens 9 o'clock and beyond. Let me show you what happens here on the latest computer model. The latest moisture moves in between 9 and midnight. We'll see that snow become more widespread. Then ice takes over. So think some snow and sleet providing a little base here. Less the farther south you go of I-85, but then transitioning over to several hours of freezing rain. The ice, the big problem here, because during this time frame in the morning hours tomorrow, the wind speeds will be between 30 and 40 miles per hour, gusting at times even higher than that. Then the snow tries to take back over on the backside of this Sunday afternoon into the evening hours. It'll be scattered and not as heavy, but good enough for some light accumulation. Again, the ice, my big concern here along the I-85 corridor with the wind speeds and the coating of ice this will provide on the trees. Power outages will become a big concern here, especially across Greenville, Spartanburg, points northeastbound. This is the area we're really highlighting here that could have some problems. Our latest forecast for snow. Again, remember, there's going to be a lot of ice here. We've said all along the amount of ice you have dictates how much snow. More ice, less snow you have. So as we look closer at the snow totals, a dusting to as much as 1 inch in the southern part of the upstate. Know that this winter storm may look a lot different than you're imagining. You likely won't get the fluffy white snow that you can go out and sled in, but we'll get a base of something here in Greenville and Spartanburg, with ice being the predominant form here across and the biggest risk here across the large part of the upstate. But those totals go up quickly in the northern part of the upstate, 3 to 6, and then in the mountains, a blockbuster snow, almost a foot or more in eastern Henderson County up through Buncombe County. We will keep you posted at the top of every hour through the evening. Enjoy the ball game, folks. Hi, everyone. I'm live here in the Weather Center, keeping you up to date on this winter storm moving our way. You are not missing a bit of the game. We'll get you right back to it here in just a few minutes. But first, this winter storm is moving into the cold air that we have in place right now. Let me get to the warnings and alerts that you have across the area. This is one of those situations where the winter weather will be felt all the way across a large chunk of the Carolinas. In fact, you have advisories well south of Columbia, almost to Orangeburg, and even getting along the I-95 corridor toward Myrtle Beach. This, as we get closer closer. The point I want to make there is that it's not a matter of impacts versus no impacts here at home. It's a matter of will it be snow or ice, and I'm afraid ice is going to be a big part of the story here across the upstate. We've already had some flurries, some sleet pellets across even in the upstate. Some more moisture of that can be expected over the next couple of hours, but the main event does not arrive until after 9 o'clock. It's 9 p.m. to midnight that the moisture will stream our way into this cold air that's only getting colder. These temperatures will continue to plummet. Let me map it out here for you, hour by hour for you. In the mountains, you're going to get a big one, a big-time snowstorm. Here we are at 11 o'clock. That snow starting to fill in across the area. After midnight, it really starts to fill in. Some heavy snow across a large part of the area, but that's not the whole story. By 5, 6, 7 a.m., the pink here starts to show up, and this is sleet and freezing rain, and likely quite a bit of it. We'll see this continue to transition over, and whatever base you have of some sleet and snow will likely get a glaze of ice on top of that. That's when things really go downhill. 8, 9, 10 a.m. in the morning, widespread freezing rain from basically Hendersonville south, and on top of some already impressive snow totals in the mountains, that'll make things very, very slick. Then on the backside of this, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, snow starts to transition back over. It will not be widespread and heavy, but rather scattered, but enough to give us some additional snowfall totals here through the afternoon hours. And this continues on through the early evening before it tapers off in the upstate. But for the mountains, it'll be until the late evening that you start to see it move out. Again, I can't stress enough, ice, my main concern here across a large part of the upstate. Some of our models here are indicating anywhere from 1/4 of an inch to as much as 1/2 an inch of ice in some locations. And it's that area here from Anderson to Greenville to Spartanburg and Gaffney that could likely see the greatest combination of ice and sleet, making for just a very, very rough commute throughout the day tomorrow. So here's a look at the forecast. Remember, there's ice in this location, so when you look at the snow, that's why you have a little bit less snow in some areas, because you're getting more ice. A dusting to as much as 1 inch with ice on top of it in the southern part of the upstate. 1 to 3 inches of snow and sleet across Greenville and Spartanburg, Clemson and Walhalla with ice on top of that. And then you get up into the northern part of Greenville County. That's when things go up very quickly. Basically, Travelers Rest, Highway 11 northbound, you're going to get as much as 3 inches of snow, but closer to 6 possible. And then in the mountains, yes, 6 to 12 inches from Hendersonville to Edneyville. You go Bearwalla up the eastern facing slopes of Buncombe County, up through Yancey, Mitchell, McDowell, and Avery counties. You'll get closer to 12 to maybe even 15 inches. And then Mount Pisgah and surrounding areas getting close to 12 inches as well. The wind, my big concern. This is what I want to leave you with. As we go into tomorrow, mid-morning, I've got gusts that are up around 50 to 60 miles per hour. You combine that with the trees coated with some ice, even if it's a little bit of ice, down trees and power lines are my main concern. So prepare now for some power outages. If you can, just stay put tomorrow. That's the key here. We're going to get you right back to the analysis of the Raiders-Bengals game. I hope you're enjoying the game. We're going to continue to watch this here for you in the coming couple of hours here as this continues to move on through. Of course, you can catch us on WYFF4.com. We'll have a special Facebook chat that you can join us on there here in just a few minutes as well. But for now, we're going to send it back to programming and keep you up to date. Next update will come at the top of the hour at 7 o'clock. Enjoy the ball game. Hi, everyone. I'm live here in the Weather Center. You're not missing a bit of the game. We'll get you right back to it in just a moment. Watching live Super Doppler 4 HD with temperatures. We've got some snow showing up in northeast Georgia. Some more light precipitation like this will move over the next couple of hours. But it's really 9, 10, 11 o'clock that the bulk of this precipitation begins to move into Georgia. And then the upstate after midnight. It's going to become more widespread. And rounds of heavy snow, especially along the I-85 corridor north, changing to ice by tomorrow morning. In fact, ice, my biggest concern here. It'll impact our travel. It'll also start to give us the chance for power outages as winds get up to 40 miles per hour tomorrow morning. I'll have another update at the top of the next hour.
Beautiful look at Cincinnati. Tonight's aerial coverage brought.
Hi, everyone. I'm live here in the Weather Center tracking our winter storm. Starting to take shape across the area. Look at all this slug of moisture back toward the west. It's going to continue to move our way, churned up by this low until this all crosses. I'll show you what's going on. We've got this activity overhead right now, which is starting to try to reach the ground. Getting some reports of ground truth up here toward Hickory along the I-40 corridor, stretching down toward Polk County. Some reports of some sleet and some snowflakes there. And then back toward the west, Dahlonega, North Atlanta, up toward North Georgia. seeing some light precipitation. This not the stuff that's going to cause us problems. That arrives between 9 p.m. and midnight. Temperatures are not cold enough yet to cause any problems, but that will soon change. Let me take you to midnight tonight. We've got snow starting to spread across the area. Certainly by 3 a.m., 4 a.m., we've got snow breaking out. And then in the southern parts of the upstate, it's not snow, it's ice, and that spreads in across the area. This, my greatest concern. We will have ice on top of whatever sleet and snow we got in the morning, and that will continue for several hours, 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock. Even the mountains getting in on some freezing rain and ice mixed in there. That's going to bring your snow totals down just a bit there in the mountains, but really make things quite slick. That continues through about 1 before the snow cranks back up and really into another gear in the mountains there. You'll get another couple of inches out of that activity, and for the upstate, this could be good for a couple of inches of accumulation as well. When it's all said and done, ice will be the biggest concern here across parts of the upstate where we could see damaging ice accumulations. It could bring down trees and power lines. That ice, a big part of the story here. When you're talking about snow and sleet, dusting to as much as an inch in the southern part of the upstate, 1 to 3 in the upstate from Greenville to Spartanburg, but lots of ice, 3 to 6, and then as much as 6 to 12 inches in western North Carolina. There will be some folks who get above a foot. I'll have another update for you coming up at the top of the next hour. Stay safe out there, folks, and stay warm. Well, hi, everyone. I'm live here in the Weather Center, keeping an eye on our winter storm, which is starting to develop to our west. It is a monster storm here, and it's going to take about 24 hours for this to get through our area and out of here. Before it does, we'll have some ice, we'll have some snow, and it's already starting to take shape across the area. This precipitation moving in right now is light, but it's doing the first part of the job here at cooling us down through evaporational cooling. What's happening now is we have a cold, dry wind coming out of the northeast. At the same time, the moisture is riding up from the north, from the west, south and west. That's creating evaporational cooling. That dry air evaporates this stuff before it hits the ground, and that's cooling us down really quickly, actually. So some flurries, some light snow showers being reported back toward North Georgia, now entering the upstate in northern Oconee County near Walhalla. Wouldn't be surprised if Clemson near the lake see it. And then eventually Brevard and Hendersonville and Asheville, you'll start to see some snow showers. It's plenty cold for that in the mountains. We're still working on it across the upstate, already down to 38 degrees. That's one of the first areas here in Gaffney. You're seeing that temperature cool down as that wedge digs in, and boy, oh boy, we're in store for a long night and a long day tomorrow with this wintry weather. Let me map it out here for you hour by hour. By 3 a.m., we've got widespread snow across a good bit of the area. It doesn't last, though, probably 2-3 hours, and then ice starts to be the dominant precipitation across the upstate. By 7 a.m., after a couple of hours of snow, we've got freezing rain across a good bit of the area. That will cause this to really become slippery across the area. 10 a.m., we've got ice across even parts of the mountains there. It's going to make for a very big mess. Now, by lunchtime, we're transitioning out of ice back to snow. Yeah, colder air filters in at the upper parts of the atmosphere and changes us back over to snow in many areas. This will last for a couple of hours into the afternoon. By 6, 7 o'clock, we're tapering things off in the upstate and shutting things down in the upstate, or the mountains, I should say, by midnight. So it's going to be a long haul here, but before it's all said and done, ice will be the biggest impact. I know snow gets the headlines, and you want that big wintry wonderland out in your backyard. Well, unfortunately for some of us, it's not going to be that. It's just going to be an icy mess. And this ice that we're seeing here is substantial, 1/4 of an inch to the order of maybe even 1/2 an inch in some locations. That will cause power outages. And when you look at the wet snow that we're going to see, that could be anywhere from a dusting to an inch in Abbeville, Lawrence, Greenwood, Anderson, closer to an inch, maybe 3 in Greenville and Spartanburg. Up toward Travelers Rest, it gets closer to 3 to 6, and then jumps up substantially once you get up into North Carolina with 6 to 12 inches of snow. That wet snow, that ice clinging to the trees, will cause power outages with these winds. In fact, every run that comes through here offers slightly higher wind gusts here between 9 a.m. and noon tomorrow. This is our problem, folks. Any wet snow, any ice on the trees with these kind of winds coming in by midday will cause problems. So take note of where those big trees are around your house. If you have trouble with trees around your house, go to a separate side of your house tomorrow. Prepare now for the possibility of power outages. Have a way to light up your house with a battery-powered lantern or some some flashlights. Have a way to eat tomorrow if you don't have electricity to cook. Peanut butter crackers, stuff like that that's non-perishable. I'm going to have another update here at the top of the hour at 10 o'clock. We should have some snow spreading into many more areas. And, of course, we'll have an hour-long broadcast tonight at 11 o'clock to get you prepared for this winter storm. Stay safe, everybody, and stay warm. Hi, everybody. I'm live here in the Weather Center as we're tracking this winter weather storm coming our way. We've got a lot to talk about here as all of this is going to spill into very cold air. High pressure to our north, funneling in the cold air. We've got reports of snow already in the Asheville-Hendersonville area. Walhalla westbound, Toccoa seeing some snow. It's approaching, folks, as we expected, 9 p.m. to midnight. It's already arriving in parts of the southwest mountains of Franklin over toward Cherokee and Clay County. We're going to watch this closely because this is going to continue to spread east. Right now, temperatures aren't quite cold enough for it to cause issues yet as far as accumulation, but this is really going to bring temperatures down. This moisture coming into dry air, the moisture evaporates and plummets those temperatures, and we're already seeing that happen. Look at that, from 39 down to 37 in Spartanburg, and we're only going down from there. Upper 20s within a few hours. Here's the way it could look by midnight. Snow moving into Greenville, Pickens, Walhalla, Toccoa, and then spreading across most of the area. Folks, I'm beginning to get a little bit more concerned that this front end band of some snow will overperform and give us a quick coating of some snow. We'll have a window here from about midnight to say 3 or 4 a.m. before freezing rain and sleet tries to take over across the upstate. But I think we could get a couple of inches of snow out of that before it does. And then as we go into the morning hours tomorrow, that sleet and freezing rain going to be a real problem here. It's going to accumulate even in parts of the mountains, making things very slippery. If you don't have to get out tomorrow, don't do it. This new computer model shows the snow transitioning back by about midday and continuing off and on through the evening hours. When it's all said and done, the ice will be the main impact here across the upstate because the wind speeds I'm seeing here combined with this ice on the order of 50 to 60 mile per hour gusts. That's dangerous, folks. The time frame on that's the morning hours through about lunchtime. Coming up on WYFF News 4 at 11 o'clock, we'll have another breakdown of these timings and the totals for your town. Hi, everybody. We're live here in the Weather Center with an update on the winter storm continuing across the area. Snow actually beginning to pick back up, and that'll be the case for a couple of hours here. There's Haywood Road getting onto 385. Notice how slow everybody's going. If you have to be out, please just go extra slow. There is ice and considerable ice on the roadways. We're at 28 degrees, so nothing is melting. If anything, it's getting a little bit more crisp and crunchy out there. It feels like 17 with the breeze outside. This low moving in right now, and we're getting some extra snow across the area. This band will be good for some additional snowfall. Until this back edge gets through our area, we will be dealing with some form of snow all the way into the evening hours here. It won't amount to incredible amounts more than what we have, but we'll see some additional accumulation. A closer look at live Super Doppler 4 HD as we expected here at lunchtime. That mix changing back over to snow for most of us. It's snowing in Abbeville and Anderson and Clemson, Walhalla, Greenville and Spartanburg starting to break out into more snow and sleet versus freezing rain. You've got freezing rain still hanging out over Lawrence and Greenwood and Union. I'll look a little bit closer at that. Live Super Doppler 4 HD does a great job at picking up on storms, but it also does a great job with regard to the ice, and that's what we're seeing right now. In the mountains, the French Broad River Valley still got some ice in there, but you'll change over to some more snow before it's all said and done. Thankfully, those wind gusts simmering down. We had peak gusts today over 50 miles per hour. Here comes that snow band continuing to work its way into our area this afternoon. It'll continue to snow off and on through 5, 6, even 7 o'clock across the upstate. Some of that could be locally heavy, give us an additional amount, but it starts to taper off in the upstate by 8 o'clock. In the mountains, we'll see it start to taper off by 10, 11 o'clock, and then this one will be in the books for us, folks. Additional snow, 1/2 inch to 1 inch possible across the area here. The snow and ice timing travel will be very difficult this evening as we continue to get things to freeze over. Here comes our system out of the way, and then we get a bit of a break. I'm watching another front, though. This moves through Wednesday into Thursday. It's an Arctic front. Sends temperatures back into the 30s for highs by Friday, and yes, another winter storm could move our way. Most of our reliable computer models show this in some form or fashion, with snow building back in by Friday and Saturday, and some of that snow could be locally heavy with some more accumulation across the area, but thankfully we'd have the weekend to iron that out. We'll map it out for you. Nothing set in stone with that one. Just enjoy the snow out there today and be safe, everybody. We'll have another update at the top of the next hour. Hi, everyone. I'm live here in the Weather Center alongside Griffin Hardy and Sydney Sullivan. We've been watching this winter storm unfold all morning long. It is a doozy out there, folks, and as we expected, it's a high-impact big one across the area. We've got a combination of snow and sleet on the ground, anywhere from 3 to 6 and even 7 or 8 inches across the upstate and western North Carolina, then ice on top, and now we're back to the snowy side of the storm. Looks like a snow globe here across Woodruff, or I should say Haywood Road and 385. Just beautiful out there. 28 degrees, northeast winds at 12 miles per hour. I want to step out of the frame here and show you the Woodruff Road sky cam because it bears showing as well. What a mess across the area. We have got snow on what is typically a very busy roadway right here. Look at those cars just putting along right there on 385 and Woodruff. Almost 5 inches there on Woodruff Road, one of the bigger snows we've had in many years. Again, it feels like 18 degrees outside. Spartanburg, you've got moderate to heavy snow falling right now, 28 degrees, west-south winds at 3 miles per hour. We can breathe a little bit with the winds. They were up to 52 miles per hour earlier this morning. The winds have calmed down area-wide, thankfully. 28 degrees in Asheville. Lawrence, you've got an icy mess. Here's what it looks like on the streets. You got a half an inch to an inch of snow and sleet, but the trees, they are coated in ice. In fact, the snow, there's my boys right there enjoying it across the area. We've had snow and we've had ice across the area as well. There's a low pressure system right here. We're on a snowy band right now. This is kind of the last heavy band of some snow. We'll get a little bit of a break before another band tries to move back in. Most of this activity over Atlanta overperforming. We need to watch that closely because as this low actually moves right over us, we may be able to squeeze out some more snowfall that could actually accumulate here. So watching this band back toward Atlanta that'll try to roll through our area through the rest of the afternoon and early evening hours. Here's the break I'm telling you about. Toccoa to Hartwell to Elberton, but you're in the snow for the next hour or so in Greenville and Spartanburg. Some big flakes moving through Anderson, and this will be snow from here on out across much of the area. And we'll get another band of that moving on through. Still some sleet and freezing rain hanging on here to the French Broad River Valley up through Hendersonville into Asheville. Watching that closely. Wind gusts have thankfully simmered down just a bit. Let's map out where we go the next couple of hours. Snow taking over the area. There's that little break back toward the west. It'll slack up a little bit for about an hour or so before this activity that's over Atlanta begins to try to stream on in between 4, 5, and 6 o'clock. We'll be live on WYFF 4 before the game tonight, mapping this out here for you hour by hour. By 7 or 8, this snow pushes out of here for the upstate, and for the mountains it remains, and we'll continue to have that snow lingering around through about midnight in the mountains. Then our snowstorm simmers down and temperatures, they stay cold. An additional half an inch not out of the question across the upstate, an additional inch possible across western North Carolina. Again, travel very difficult if not impossible outside. If you don't have to get out, best put, just hunker down. Keep it right here on WYFF 4. We'll keep you posted. Another update coming your way, top of the next hour. Hi, everyone. I'm live here in the Weather Center with another update on our winter storm continuing across the area. We got a band of some heavy snow moving across the upstate with more back toward North Georgia. This is going to pivot into our region as we go throughout the next couple of hours, and it's good for some more fluffy snow. It's going to look beautiful outside. Really won't add to our totals that much, although we could get some locations that get another inch, maybe 2. This snow coming down nicely across Greenville, Spartanburg, Lawrence. We've said goodbye to the icy part of the story, and as we've been advertising, this is the snowy part as this system starts to crank down as we go into the evening hours. So looking at live Super Doppler 4HD, a bit of a lull here from Pickens to Clemson to Hartwell, but pivoting in from North Georgia to Toccoa, Hartwell, and Elberton, you'll see some. Anderson, you'll get some snow here. It's going to be beautiful there. Please send me your pictures in Anderson, Lake Hartwell up through Kiowee and Jocassee. In western North Carolina, it's been snow for a large part of it, slacking up just a bit across Edneyville and Dana, but you'll see it start to pick back up. Temperatures and winds right now are calm. We're seeing those winds start to tame down just a bit, so that's some good news. As far as where we go the rest of the afternoon and evening, we're going to continue to see some spotty snow throughout a good bit of the evening hours here. As we have Football Night in America here on WYFF 4, we'll still see some snow showers around. Great night just to hunker down and watch some football on TV, right? By 7, 8 o'clock, the snow taming down for the upstate. Still can't rule out some snow showers or flurries through 10 or 11, but it's the mountains that'll see the majority of the snow through the night. And additionally, we could see about an inch. Some of these snow showers will be efficient, but they're tiny flakes, so not amounting to as much. You could get an inch to maybe 2 in the mountains. The temperature, the big deal. Tonight, we're hanging out right there in the 20s, and as we wake up tomorrow, falling down to the low 20s in most locations. Check out tomorrow's high temperatures. Despite having full sunshine, we are not going to warm up that much. I've trended back the high temperatures tomorrow because of the snowpack that we have in place. It's just really hard to warm up. Yes, we'll get above freezing, so yes, we'll get some melting, but it will not make a difference on the roads in many locations because look at that. Anything that thaws and melts will refreeze by Tuesday morning because look at this. We are in the teens across the area, as low as 14 in Gaffney. Yeah, that refreeze will mean business as we go throughout this week. So we're clearing this system out. We dry out for a little bit, and then here comes an Arctic front. Boy, this one will cool us down in a big way. That part we know is for sure. It's going to get very cold late week, but our computer models offer 2 different scenarios with the way things will play out this upcoming weekend. Saturday at 9 p.m., the European has us bone dry. The GFS, however, shows some significant snow building back into the area. The models do not agree on the timing or even if there will be a low pressure at this point, but snow is possible going into this Friday and Saturday time frame. We'll keep you posted. I'll have another update on the snow happening right now coming up at the top of the next hour. Hi, everyone. I'm live here in the studios as we keep an eye on the winter storm. Yes, more snow on the way this afternoon, and what a beauty of a day it is. Here as 385 and Woodruff Road looking as quiet as it possibly can on a weekend, right? Normally a hop in place. We've got temperatures that are oh so cold, up to 30 degrees right now. Northeast wind still at 14 miles per hour, locking in that wedge of cold air. It feels like 20 outside if you're going out to play in it a little bit more. Here's the wraparound moisture that's coming our way. It's been good for another inch or so in the Atlanta area, so we're watching that. We'll continue to get some snow showers on the back end of this, mainly for the mountains through the late evening hours, but even the upstate will see some showers through the evening. We got this lull right now across Greenville and Anderson, but look at this. Back toward Hartwell, this activity's pushing on through. That's going to swing on into parts of the upstate right here. And let's look at what's going on in some of these areas. We've got a beautiful day across the area here from Spartanburg to Greenville. Let's check out our Spartanburg sky cam looking out toward Wofford. We've got partly cloudy skies, some snow on the way there. It's a beauty of a day. How about Anderson sky cam? Well, we got Anders tapped in there. We've got Lake Hartwell looking off toward the west right there. Beautiful snow all around the lake right there. What about our Asheville sky cam? You're in and out of some snow there in the mountains. You have visibility down. There's a mountain back there, but you can't see it with the snowfall moving on in. Downtown Greenville, the Peace Center looking very nice. We've got the Reedy River right there. Main Street covered in snow right now. Just a beautiful day across the area. And we're going to continue to see these impacts from more bands of snow move on in. So tracking this band of snow that's over Clemson right now, moving toward Anderson and Abbeville. It's going to be approaching Greenville by about 4:38, Spartanburg by about 5:01, and we'll continue to have more of these bands kind of center around that upper low that's moving our way through the evening hours here. In the mountains, it's been snow, a bit of a break here and there for Hendersonville and Asheville, but it's been a lot of snow. I'll show you those totals here in just a moment. So mapping out the next couple of hours here for you, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, we're going to continue to have these snow showers still hanging around. By 7, 8 o'clock, we'll still have the snow across a good bit of the upstate, but by 8 o'clock, I think the threat shifts off toward the mountains. You'll still see some snow showers this evening. Good for another couple of inches possible in some locations. Still some flurries in Pickens and Anderson and Elberton, but for the most part, this thing's tapering down as we go into the evening hours, and then it's all about the refreeze. Additional snowfall accumulations, an additional inch or so possible out of these next bands that move on through. As far as totals are concerned, these are an average of what we've seen. Your area of these typical cities may have a little bit more, a little bit less, but 5.5 in Greenville, Travelers Rest 9.5, Pickens 7, Simpsonville 5, Hendersonville 10, Waynesville at about 11, and then Cashers at about 9 inches. Saluda, about 10 inches. Yeah, a lot of snow in these areas, and that's a lot of snow that's going to refreeze tonight. It may be a little bit slushy here and there, but it's going to be crunchy tomorrow morning as temperatures hold tight in the low to mid 20s. So this system moves on through. Let's map out as the cold air settles in tomorrow. Hey, with us being snow-packed, even with some sunshine tomorrow, I don't see us getting that warm. Mid to upper 30s, so that means, yes, we'll get some melting. The roads will be wet, but they'll certainly refreeze going into Tuesday morning. I have a hard time thinking we'll have much school on Tuesday because it's going to be a slushy mess that gets froze back over. 17 in Spartanburg, 19 in Greenville, and 16 in Asheville. Now, looking ahead, we've got this storm system leaving us. Then our eyes turn toward an Arctic front. Another shot of very cold air moves our way. Rain with this one on Thursday. But here's the question mark. Some of our computer models show the frigid air moving in and then a low pressure riding right into that cold air. That is certainly possible. The models have gone back and forth on it. In fact, as we look at our two most reliable computer models, the European showed it last night. Tonight, it does not. The GFS slowed it down a lot, arriving here on Sunday. Either way, I think we'll be dealing with some form of a low pressure system Friday or Saturday. We'll need to watch it because we'll be plenty cold for some snowfall then. Nothing written in stone with that one. We just want to let you know it's an active pattern, and this upcoming weekend there could be two separate solutions there. I'll have another update on the snow continuing across the air at the top of the next hour, and of course we'll have a special broadcast here for you before the NFL game on WYFF4 from 6 to 7:30.
Is backstage with Andrea Joyce.
Well, Nathan.
Hi, everybody. I'm broadcasting live here in the Weather Center, keeping you up to date on our winter storm, which continues across the area. More snow showers moving across the upstate. Isn't it so beautiful out? Hey, if you don't have to be out, don't. The roads are not great out, and more snow's on the way. This is really more just to make it beautiful outside. It's not really causing much in the way of problems. You might get as much as a dusting to an inch in some locations of additional snow. That's going to kind of fill in across parts of the upstate here, and more particular Greenville here, Spartanburg, Greer, Anderson. You're seeing some snow, as well as Clemson and Walhalla, Toccoa to Elberton. Then we'll take a little bit of a break before another little wave will move back in, and we'll continue to get some of these to roll on into the area. Might be good for a little bit more accumulation, just not blockbuster amounts. Hey, it's really beautiful in the southern parts of Greenville toward Fountain Inn, moving toward Simpsonville and Malden, Hendersonville to Chimney Rock up through Asheville. You're seeing some more snow roll on in. A beautiful day. As we look ahead, the latest computer model here taking us into the overnight hours. We're going to continue to see some more of these light snow showers develop in many areas, but by 9, 10 o'clock, the bulk of this is pushing out of the area, and by 11 o'clock, it's reserved just for the mountains and will begin to all dry out. Additional snowfall, again, 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch, not out of the question, especially there in western North Carolina. The totals have been high today, folks. 5.5 inches in Greenville, Travelers Rest, 9.5, Pickens 7, Simpsonville 5, Hendersonville had 10, Waynesville 11, Cashers 9, Saluda about 10, Lyman and Inman had about 4.5 to 5 inches. Anderson had about 2 inches on the south side of town, 3.5 on the north side of town. Now, future temperature shows the problem here. We got the slush out there. Temperatures dip a few more degrees tonight into the low to mid 20s. And then tomorrow at its warmest with the snowpack in place, even though we're sunny, temperatures only top out in the mid to upper 30s. And then we'll have a refreeze. So I do have school concerns for Tuesday. With this kind of hard freeze in place, lows in the teens there. And another Arctic front begins to move our way. That later in the week, that too could bring with it a small chance for snow. I'll have both computer models that show that. Coming up on WYFF News 4 at 6 o'clock, we'll have an extended hour-and-a-half edition of this leading up to Football Night in America here on WYFF 4. See you then.